Greetings and salutations, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well today. I know I am because today's my birthday. And yes, I'm an old man at the age of 42. Well, today I'm going to do something special for a good friend of mine, the Disciple. And his Native American totem is the Thunderbird. And we were talking the other day about cryptids and stories to do. And he suggested that I do one on the Thunderbird. And I said, you know what? Not a lot of people have. So I think I will. And with that, guys, let's get on with the Thunderbird mythology and educational video I have for you guys. The Thunderbird is a cryptozoological creature associated with large bird-like animals that live anywhere in northern Canada and Alaska down to Central America. Similar animals often appear in Native American mythology. Some tales tell of enormous eagles strong enough to carry whales back to their nests. Since pioneers began moving west across North American plains, sightings of large birds have been reported. Similar stories appear in civilizations around the world. The Legend of the Thunderbird. Native tribes all across North America, especially along the Pacific coast and in the Great Lakes area, have stories depicting enormous birds of prey. Some stories told that these birds were so large and powerful that when they flapped their wings, thunder was created. Lightning flashed out of their eyes and water fell off their backs, creating rain. The tribes used thunderbirds to explain some of the things that happen naturally, such as storms and other forms of weather. The legend of Passamaquoddy, for example, describes the quest of two Indians in search of the source of thunder high in the mountains. Other stories said that there were Thunderbird battling enormous killer whales. When the two beasts fought, they destroyed much of the land, knocking down trees and causing much destruction. Although dangerous and powerful beings, Thunderbirds seemed to be benevolent, natural spirits, and they sometimes assisted the tribes in their search for food during periods of famine. Argentaphus magnificens, a giant prehistoric condor compared to a human. This is a plausible explanation for the Thunderbird. Sightings of a large bird-like creature have been reported for many years, at least since people began settling further west in the United States and Canada. One of the most famous reports is from 1890, where two Arizona cowboys claimed to have shot and killed a large bird. It was described as having no feathers, and it had the head similar to that of an alligator. The two men supposedly dragged the dead bird back to town after killing it. The report seems to suggest that this creature looked more like a pterodactyl or a dragon than any modern-day bird. Today, cryptozoologists usually refer to the Thunderbird legends the same way they do with any flying cryptids, such as the Kongamata, or the Roc, or the Ropin, and even sometimes the Jersey Devil. These flying creatures are often associated with modern-day pterodactyls. Many of the encounters with the creatures, including the Thunderbirds, are all described similarly. Quite often the creatures are said to resemble pterodactyls, which are thought to be extinct for millions of years. One of the most strangest cryptids we have. Here's some Thunderbird encounters I've put together. In the first weeks of 2018, there was small talk appearing online of some big news out in the Northwest. specifically reports of a massive bird seen in the vicinity of Juneau, Alaska. The initial report involved an incident that occurred in January 16th, which appeared on Facebook page of the Juneau Community Collective. The witness, Tabitha Bauer, described seeing a large bird as she approached a movie theater in her community. I was just driving by the movie theater in the valley, and there was this huge black bird flying above the road. The wingspan had to be at least 20 feet. It was almost as wide as the road. I have lived here all my life, and I have never seen anything like it. It freaked me out. It was not a raven or an eagle. This isn't a joke. This thing was huge. Almost the size of a small airplane. Did anyone see it? Bauer later told the Juneau Empire that she had there been the raindrops on her windshield, and that she turned her wipers on. She noticed a large bird above her car. Judging the wingspan was roughly that of the highway. Slowing down to observe the animal, she judged that it was flying in the direction of a nearby Mendenhall Glacier, and that it was the biggest thing she had ever seen in her life. It was very concerning. I've never seen anything like it. The incident occurred just before sunset, around 4 p.m. local time. I know it sounds nuts, Bauer told the Empire. I've been getting a lot of crap on Facebook about it, like I'm crazy, but I wanted to post it in case anyone else had seen it. Another eyewitness in the region described their encounters with a large bird, some of them dating back several years. However, this isn't the first time Alaskan Thunderbird made headlines by any means. Back in October of 2012, residents of Alaskan towns of Tojachik and Manitowoc were reporting sightings of a bird said to be the size of a small otter plane. Witnesses judged that it had to have been 14-foot wingspan and was not the kind of bird you want flying around if you have small children outside. John Boker, a pilot who had been skeptical of the reports, eventually saw the massive bird himself. The people in the plane saw him as well. He told Anchorage Daily News, "This bird is huge. He really is huge. You wouldn't want to have your children out." The obvious concern about children being easily snatched by a bird this large is expressed by many people who have claimed to have seen this creature, and perhaps without merit. A famous incident involving a similar reported large bird occurred in 1977, which involved a 10-year-old boy named Marlon Lowe. He and several other children were playing outside that evening in an open area near Kickapoo Creek, near Lawndale, Illinois, when Lowe was allegedly lifted off the ground by a massive bird, carrying the child for several feet. Lowe's mother observed the attempted abduction and ran screaming towards the child, who was then dropped. According to the Lowe family, there had been 2 of the massive birds seen at the time of the incident. The following is Ruth Lowe's harrowing eyewitness account of the frightening cryptid encounter. At approximately 8:10, the Lowe's were cleaning up after their dinner. The kids were out playing outside, and this is when it happened. Ruth, the matriarch of the Lowe clan, was cleaning up in the kitchen where she couldn't see her children. She heard the piercing scream and knew it was none other than her 10-year-old son, Marlon. When she ran outside to see what the commotion was, she was stunned to see 2 massive birds flying in a tight wingtip-to-wingtip formation, and they were chasing her son Marlon, pecking and clawing at his shoulders. As Ruth ran to Marlon's aid, the larger of the 2 birds sank their claws into his shirt, fully lifting the 56-pound boy off the ground. But the birds were no match for the defensive mother. Ruth kept attacking the bird, and then it dropped her now terrified son to the ground, after carrying at a distance of 35 feet. When the Lows went to the police, they were laughed out of the precinct. One of the cops allegedly said to Ruth over the goughs of a fellow officer, "Now let me get this straight. A giant bird attacked your nephew?" In her statement to the police, Ruth described the bird as such. It had a white ring around its half-foot-long neck. The rest of its body was very black. The bird's bill was 6 inches in length and hooked at the end. The claws on the feet were arranged with 3 front, 1 in the back. Each wing, less the body, was 4 feet at the very least. The entire length of the bird's body from beak to tail feather was approximately 4.5 feet. Obviously, as with any eyewitness accounts of cryptids, Ruth and Marlon Lowe's story was met with a healthy dose of skepticism, even ridicule. As their story was circulated around the local press, Marlon became known to his schoolmates as the Bird Boy, and dead pigeons were tossed onto the Lowe's family porch. Had Ruth not come outside at that very moment, she was sure the bird would have carried her son away. Wow. Now I know why my friend, the disciple, wanted me to do a little digging and a story about these thunderbirds, these crazily enormous beasts of the sky. Now I will be doing a little more digging, and I have a couple of more stories to put out. I just wanted to share these with you for my birthday present to you guys. So with that, guys, have a great day. I'm hoping I will. Tomorrow, Dogman, and then possibly some more Thunderbird. With that, guys, have a great day.